Good evening, everyone. This is the Kid DC Wrestling back at it again with another video. Here to bring you all your Valentine's Day edition. That's right. While love is in the air, tonight certainly was Monday Night Raw. Before I get into this Raw review, man, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 630 subs. Also, if you haven't already, man, go check out my WrestleMania 27 retro review talking about that WrestleMania. Also, go check out my Elimination Chamber predictions and even go check out my NXT Vengeance Day predictions. So, we looked at tonight's Monday Night Raw. This was the go-home show of Monday Night Raw before the Chamber this Saturday. And I gotta say, this is a decent Raw. It wasn't a bad Raw by any means of the necessary, but it wasn't, like your greatest episode of Monday Night Raw. Anyways, we kick things off with the MVP coming out with the almighty WWE champion Bobby Lashley. He talks about he has to win the Elimination Chamber before he enters WrestleMania 38 as champ. He talks about how all his challengers have failed and he has destroyed them all. None of them has a good chance of winning whatsoever. And then, of course, here comes Mr. Rollins. Speaking on my laugh, Rollins laughs. It's like, okay, like, come on, Lashley. Like, I'm going to win that WWE Championship. It's my time. And here comes Riddle coming out wearing a toga because obviously he and Randy Orton had this, this little party going on. So, which we all saw what happened at the, with Otis and them coming out. So Riddle coming out with a toga, so that was interesting. That actually got a pop. And of course, Austin Theory comes out. So eventually this leads to everybody coming out. Brock Lesnar comes out. He's beating up everyone. Well, he actually beats up Austin Theory and takes a selfie with him, which was freaking dope by Brock Lesnar. But I thought this was a decent segment. Obviously, your typical, again, go-home show. This being the go-home show of the Chamber, so they're obviously in the ring getting ready, getting in the ring, getting all their shots in, getting their last messaging before the Chamber match. Next, we had a tag team match player. We had the Street Profits and the Dirty Dogs coming out. And who was by ringside? Mr. Tommaso Ciampa. He even wrestled, I believe, a dark match or main event, but he was on commentary. Obviously, Ziggler showed up this past week on NXT 2.0, and so Ciampa, I guess, decided to return the favor and throws water in the face of Ziggler. So with that being said, the Street Profits get the one. What was a short, but the main part of this was the Tommaso Ciampa being there. So that was pretty cool there. Next, we had a U.S. Championship match between AJ Styles and Damian Priest. For what it was worth, it was solid. I really wished they would have gave them a little bit more time. Because I really felt like if they would have given them just a little bit more time, I really felt like this would have been not just easily one of the best matches of the night, but this would have been a really good match. So that's just me. That's just me if I'm being quite honest with you all. But, Damian Priest does retain the championship. He actually beats AJ, was crazy because, like, you look at AJ, it's like AJ, like, he can't really be losing this soon to the Chamber. So, yeah, but Damian Priest gets the win there. All right, next we had a 2-on-1 handicap match with Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin versus Omos. This was squash Omos. Omos gets the win, as always. So, I mean, there's nothing I can say about that. Let's talk about 24/7 champ for a minute, man. Reggie, because, like, Dana Brooks has been friend-zoning him all this time. And so Reggie ends up late at night pinning Dana Brooke and becoming the new 24/7 champ. You know what? Good on for you, Reggie, because clearly she didn't want you. So you take the next best thing, man. You take that 24/7 championship. So good for Reggie. Make it up for himself, especially on a day like this where, like I said before, love is in the air. Another thing that happened on the show tonight I want to talk about before I get into other things. Kevin Owens, he cut a promo talking about WrestleMania. But it's really interesting because he was talking about WrestleMania being in Texas. And it's really interesting because I don't know if you guys heard the news, but it's being reported that Stone Cold, I guess WWE was reportedly trying to put Stone Cold Steve Austin in a match at WrestleMania. Yes, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Yeah, the real Stone Cold Steve Austin. A match at WrestleMania and potentially against Kevin Owens. Now, granted, this, who knows, This is just rumors. It's not like Stone Cold's gonna actually have a match with, Kevin. It'll be a great match regardless, but it's probably gonna be Kevin just blabberating Texas, and then Stone Cold coming out because it is his hometown, and then boom, stunners Kevin, and that's it. Shows him how to really. He gonna show Kevin Owens, hey, this is how you actually do a stunner. You know what I'm saying? um, yeah, but we have the contract signing with Lita and Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch coming out looking like the Bengals fans after what happened at the Super Bowl. She's like, Lita, please don't sign. We don't need to do this. Like, I don't want this. You don't want this. We don't need to do this. Lita's like, the fans want it. I want it. It's going to happen, big time Bex. So let's do it. So she signs contract, and Becky is pissed. So she leaves. So, yeah, that was that. Pretty good contract signing, though. Anyways, Rhea Ripley versus Nikki ASH in the Gauntlet match. This obviously leads to Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley versus Doudrop, and Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair wins, and she gets to be the final entrant into the Elimination Chamber match. Now, I gotta say, man, this was a really great match. You know, Rhea Ripley obviously was the star of this one. Obviously, in these Gauntlet matches, you got to give the woman the Gauntlet, the Iron Man moment, or the Seth Rollins moment, I would like to call it, or the Kofi Kingston moment, if someone would call it that. And obviously, Rhea was that one in tonight's match. But either way, man, I thought her match with Bianca was really good. But yeah, Bianca gets the win. So yeah. Okay, so before I get next into the rest of the show, I want to talk about Alexa Bliss as well, because Alexa Bliss, it seems like she's all better now. The therapist, which by the way, that therapist freaking sucked, by the way. He was a terrible therapist. But Alexa Bliss is back. And you want to know how she's back? Because she is the final entrant into the match. Everyone was like, who's this mystery opponent? Is it going to be a return? Is it going to be like maybe Lacey Evans? That's what I predicted. But it's Alexa. And who knows, man? People are saying also they're still doing the Lily thing. But, we can crap on the Lily stuff. But it is making a lot of merchandise. It's surprisingly one of the top merchant sellers. And so it's a hit with the kids. So the kids love it. They're obviously going to do it. But honestly, with the way things are looking right now, maybe they're doing a mixture of the goddess Alexa Bliss and this Lily. Either way, hey, Alexa Bliss is making her return, so it should be interesting there. All right, next we had a tag team match. Alpha Academy taking on the Mysterios. We had Miz and them by ringside. Them getting into it. Ray and Miz getting into it. And that leads to Alpha Academy getting the win as Dominic goes up for a crossbody, but Gable catches him and rolls him up. Alpha Academy, I thought this was a pretty good tag team match for what it was worth. But The Miz and Maurice attacking the Mysterios after the match. And it was recently just announced that it will be it will be Miz and freaking Miz and Ray for at Elimination Chamber. At the main event, Randy Orton, Seth Rollins. I thought this was a really, really good match from both men. Of course, it's going to be a good match. When you have Randy Orton and Seth Rollins in the match, of course, it's going to be a really good match. And like I said, man, overall, I thought tonight was it was decent. Like I said, it was a decent episode of Raw heading into the chamber. So, yeah. So anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this Raw review. Again, remember to subscribe to the channel. Tomorrow, I will be doing my NXT Vengeance Day review, so be on the lookout for that. We got Dynamite coming up. And Thursday, I'm going to be doing my Impact No Surrender. That's right, because granted, Elimination Chamber is Saturday at 12 noon. But later on in the night, Impact No Surrender should be a really good show. And, of course, Friday Night SmackDown on SmackDown, the review on Friday. So, yeah. So, a whole lot of videos coming out this week. So be on the lookout for that. Make sure you guys, again, remember to subscribe, like, and comment. This has been the Kid DC Wrestling. And so, yeah.